and welcome to the fourth episode of the Halftime Team Talk podcast. On today's episode, we focus on the Champions League game week 2. In a week that saw Liverpool win a game of football, Spurs lose a game of football, Erling Haaland score with a football, and Chelsea get a new manager of football. Speaking of which, we delve into how we think Graham Potter is going to fare at Chelsea, along with our usual FPL segment looking forward to the games at the weekend. On the podcast with me today, we've got
DB.
Hello.
George.
Hello. Unless it's the other George.
The other George. Johnson.
yeah.
Riot.
Oh.
And Tom's back this week.
Hiya, Chuck.
I think it makes sense to start with the games that were on Tuesday. So let's start with Liverpool Ajax. 2-1 win for Liverpool. Much needed after some previous results. What were your thoughts on the game, Johnson?
Just so Jekyll and Hyde. Liverpool actually played well compared to the Napoli game. I mean, obviously there was still a bit of frailty at the back, the fact that we conceded, but just
I feel like even
so
at our
day when people are back.
I feel even at our peak, there's always, like in the past, that there was always games where you'd watch them, and if someone would have taken a chance against us, it would have changed everything. Like, we always live on the edge.
Yeah, because we're so gung-ho going forward, we obviously leave ourselves a bit at the back, but it does seem like any team that we play has a chance and scores it, whereas we, I don't know how many shots we had not last night, but the night before, but it felt like we had a lot of chances before we finally scored, yeah.
We had
Van Dijk and Matip could have had a hat-trick each.
Oh, they were immense. I don't know why they just didn't keep going for set pieces all the time, just every single set piece.
Corner after corner, it was like, right, and he's got his head on it. Oh, I just haven't quite scored, but
we had
so
23 shots to 3 of theirs. We had 10 corners and they had none.
And yeah, even though they only had 3 shots, they should have scored twice.
Exactly. David should have scored that header, shouldn't he?
Thankfully, put it wide, but it would have been so classic how Liverpool lose a game.
What about the guy who scored the goal for Ajax, that Mohamed Kudus? Had you heard of him before the game? I know he was linked to Everton. Apparently, he was going to go to Everton.
A lot of Ajax fans rate him big time. They love him.
Apparently, he was signed, sealed, and delivered to go to Everton, but then they sold Anthony, and they were like, well, we can't sell him now.
Matt Fox.
Okay.
So, yeah, it was a very, very good finish, and not a lot that we could have done, really. A good start that I read after the game.
It was down Trent's side was part of the problem. Obviously, everyone knows that Trent defensively isn't amazing, but he got done a little bit on that side, and Fabinho didn't track back as much as you'd probably like, but everyone likes to try and create the whole, it was Van Dijk's fault, even though there was 2 attackers with him. I don't really know what he could have done, really, but yeah, ignoring that goal, which was a bit of a lapse, otherwise Liverpool were pretty dominant.
Yeah, it was just one way.
If you just look at the result, you think, Liverpool scored in the last minute and got lucky, but Liverpool, I know I'm biased because I'm a Liverpool fan, but Liverpool deserved to win that game.
Well, you only need to look at the stats, 23 shots to 3. It's just one way. Thiago obviously made a huge difference.
Obviously, because he's one of the best midfielders in world football.
Did you see that? I can't remember who passed it across the field in front of the box, and he went and he just dummied. He did a no-look dummy. Did you see that? Yeah,
just jinked it and let it go past him. Even when he doesn't do anything, it looks amazing. It's one of them ones. It's unfortunate, it's a very big if he stays fit, Liverpool looks so much better. But you already know that Thiago comes with injury issues.
They need to get more inhalers on him, don't they? Really?
If he had legs made out of inhalers, he'd be fine.
Well, give that to Matt as well.
It wasn't even just Thiago, obviously, even though he ran the show in the middle. Tsimikas played really well at left back, considering Robbo dropped out injured, and Jota looked lively up top as well.
The last couple, Jota did play really well. To be fair, the last couple of games, I've been checking out heat maps, and one that interested me was with Trent's side. So Elliott is playing on the right side of midfield, and his heat map is none of it. He never appears at the fullback position. Whereas on Simicas's side, Thiago was at the left back side a lot of the game, so that kind of shows that Trent's not getting any help.
Yeah, well, because that's generally the thing is when it's Henderson or Milner usually who are playing, they cover Trent a lot more. But obviously, when they're not playing, Trent gets exposed more, which also does signify, everyone like I said, everyone knows that Trent's not amazing defensively, but when he's getting no real help, he's obviously going to get overloaded.
Well, that's the thing. I think the point of Liverpool, the fullbacks aren't defensive. They're there to cross the ball in and be attacking, and that's what the midfield is for. Just unfortunately, the midfield haven't been the same and not been able to cover the fullbacks at the moment too, and help Van Dijk because he's good but not a Superman.
Yeah.
Wow.
I think that's Harvey Elliott, as great as he is young and isn't defensively minded. It's always going to be a slight issue for him, but he's got more upgrades than he has, faults, Harvey Elliott. But
he came on for his debut.
Bajitic.
What?
Is that who you mean? He came on towards
he was like 17, yeah.
Yeah. He looked, I don't know if you saw any pre-season games, but he looked quite good in pre-season as well, to be fair.
Never heard of him, to be honest. I don't delve that much into the youth team, but I know the majority of them coming through.
Well, he's a midfielder, but yeah, he looked quite good in pre-season. So, I know the game was already I think he came on after the game. I don't know exactly where he's from. I don't want to stereotype anyone, but on that name, you'd assume he's Eastern European. I know he's just a youngster, like. But
I read after the game, Ajax have lost 2 of their last 17 away games, and both of them have come at Anfield. So it just shows kind of how strong Ajax have been, really.
They're a decent team. I mean, they beat Rangers 4-0. I'm sure they won on the weekend 4 or 5-0 as well. So they're pretty much the best team in the Netherlands.
On that note, to be fair, the only teams that Rangers can beat are in Scotland.
Ooh.
Wow.
Sorry, controversial,
but
the Scottish League.
Wow. By Celtic, didn't they?
They beat PSV
the Europa League final last year.
Well, Eindhoven's close to Scotland.
Point stands.
If you zoom the map out,
Yeah.
Oh, Stefan Bajitic is actually Spanish.
Oh, right, okay.
So can I be the voice of reason here then, or what?
Go on then.
Controversy, maybe.
Liverpool had 24 shots, 10 on target, 10 off target, and you only scored 2 goals. That not just show that you're not as clinical as you used to be, because, you can say you've had all them shots, but, if you're not actually scoring goals, then you're not going to win games. So obviously you did in the last minute in this one, but you don't really see how you can say you deserve to win the game unless you score goals.
Well,
I know you did right at the end, but 24 shots, 2 goals.
We've always been
that's
though.
kind of always been Liverpool. Even when we nearly won the quad last year, it takes us a stupid amount of shots to finally score. Maybe there is a lack of a bit of clinicalness about us, but the game against Ajax we won, so I'm not arsed, and it was a million miles better than what happened against Napoli.
Perhaps it's a bit of complacency because the team knew there'd always be chances. So but now it's just not going in. It's just the goals are just not good. Well, it's obvious the goals are just not going in.
Just curious though, you see, obviously you're saying you're happy you won, and the result's the result, and it's a good result. Ajax aren't an easy opponent, but let's say it finished 1-1 and you didn't get that last minute goal. How would you feel then? Would you be a bit disappointed? Would you still be a bit worried?
Oh yeah, of course you would be, because
probably frustrated. Yeah, if we hadn't won.
The thing is, though, the game last night changed the outlook for me. Even though Napoli won 3-0, they did not look anywhere near as good as they did against us. And I feel like they're going to be really strong at home and not as strong away from home. Because Rangers should have, before they got the red card. What is the rule change with the red cards on the last man? I thought if you give away a penalty, you can't be sent off.
Well, I thought that was also the case. Why did Rangers... Was it a straight red, was it?
Yeah.
I didn't see the Rangers Napoli game, you see.
He was basically running with the attacker, and he was unlucky. The ball went through his legs as he tackled, and he just missed the ball, took the player down, and gave a penalty and sent him off. And another thing they did in that game, like I know we're not really touching on that one, but they took the penalty, missed. Another Napoli player entered the box before the penalty was taken, and he scored the goal from the rebound. And obviously, it got ruled out, and they retook the penalty. Like, that's stupid.
I suppose if the encroachment happens and Napoli benefit from it, then it needs to be retaken. If the encroachment happened and Rangers saved the penalty, therefore by the letter of the law, it probably should still be redone. But if the encroachment has actually not affected the game, should it matter? If Rangers had saved the first penalty and the ball had gone out of play or had gone downfield, I'd say the encroachment for Napoli wouldn't matter as much. But obviously, encroachment is still encroachment. But I think the fact that it fell back to him and then he scored, obviously, then
if it was the
right
Rangers player encroaching, then I understand retaking it. But not when it's like your own player when you've missed the penalty. I don't think you should get another chance.
Yeah, I agree.
Going back to that point from Fryer, I'm just looking at some of our results from last season. Beat Watford in April, 20 shots, won 2-0.
Yeah, it's always been a Liverpool case.
Beat Brighton away from home, 18
clinical.
shots, 2-0.
Even look at the Palace game. The Nunes headbutt game, if you want to remember it as that. But they had 2 chances and should have scored twice, same as what Ajax should have done. And yet otherwise we peppered the goal and just couldn't score. It's just a Liverpool thing. I don't know, we are lacking a bit of clinicalness. I mean, you are probably right in that respect, but
the Everton game,
because we won against Ajax, I'm not asked.
No, the Everton game, it didn't feel like it. We had 23 shots. I don't remember having 23 shots.
Well,
23 shots against Newcastle.
About
if Liverpool
6 or
were
7
clinical, they'd score 9, wouldn't they?
Well, 24
6 or 7 of them would have been headers from Matip and Van Dijk, admittedly, but yeah.
It's just always the way we've been. But yeah.
It's just the way we are. Unfortunately, or fortunately, depends how you want to see it.
My question was more the case of you said you deserve to win because of that. Well, if that's the way you always are, then I thought Ajax played all right.
Ajax did play all right, but Liverpool were the better team, and had the lion's share of possession and most of the chances. Ajax just tried to sit back and play off us on the counter, which is the way to play Liverpool. But Liverpool huffed and puffed and got the win at the end.
We put the ball in the net 2 times, so that tells you we deserve to win. That's what matters, really, isn't it? It doesn't matter how many shots we have or how shit we are, but the scoreboard tells the truth. Should we move on to Spurs Sporting? 2 late goals for Sporting Lisbon. Spurs, as they've looked all season, have not looked great every game, but they've been getting the wins, whereas it changed, obviously, in this game. Yeah, I don't know what's going on there. It must be the way that they're playing. They seem to sit back a lot and soak up a lot of pressure, and it doesn't look like they're doing too much, but then they obviously get in the wins. So, yeah, George, I don't know if you had something to say on this or.
I must admit, I didn't really watch anywhere near as much football as I should have done this week, but I do find it interesting that Spurs seemingly can continue to play so badly and continuously get results. And I just wonder, how long can they keep that up? And last night sort of showed that, because they were both in injury time, weren't they? The 2 goals they conceded.
Yeah, they were. Yeah.
Could you try again?
Oh, hello. My watch is talking to me. Sorry.
Get them on the pod.
I thought that was CB, not the watch.
So did I.
I'm not posh.
I'm not posh.
What was I saying? Yeah, it was just the 2 goals in injury time, wasn't it? That let them down.
Those were quite wasteful with the attacks they did get. Charleston was unlucky; he scored a goal and it was slightly offside. Another toenail offside type of VAR decision. Yeah. Sporting were unlucky to not score in the first half.
That run from
Marcus Edwards.
Yeah, that's the one. Young word.
I've never heard of him. I know you were.
I think he's
hanging
from,
the drum
he's from
last week.
Tottenham's academy.
Yeah, he is. I
Oh, really?
I don't know much about him, but I had heard about him from the week previous because I believe he had a really good game in the first game week of the Champions League season. But I believe Pochettino compared him to a young Lionel Messi in terms of his ability when he was about 17, 18.
The run
reminded
me of Maradona's
the run is very Messi, Maradona-like. Like short. It's just like when he runs, the ball and him don't seem to move direction. He just jumps over everybody. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like he just runs in one straight line, but like still avoids them too. It's that kind of running, so I can see where the comparison is. But it's a great save from Loris from that.
So he glides across the pitch, basically.
Yeah, but I believe he was let go due to being surplus to requirements at the time. I've listened to a few.
Who let him go by any chance? Was it Jose Mourinho?
But do you know what? I think it wasn't the Poch's reign because he's not that old, is he? For me,
he surely can't.
He left in, he left in 1920.
Yeah, true. You can't really compare someone to Messi and let them go, can you? But I believe it was.
So as in like 2019, 20.
100 years ago.
Yes. Not the interwar period. Oh my God, how old is this lad?
No, I was on about 1920. I meant to say season, but I didn't finish my sentence. So left
it's not posh, guys.
1920. We joined Victoria Day, some Portuguese team, and then obviously he's gone to a bigger club in Portugal.
I think not bad for a guy who's 118 years old.
He was interviewed after the game, and they said, like, "Do you want to come back to England?" And he basically just said yes without saying yes. So,
do you think it's a bit reminiscent of Sancho? You know how he was let go by City, and then obviously proved his worth.
He's going to come back to Arsenal, then, is what you're saying?
Possibly.
Yeah.
It's I think what we were saying last week, where European teams take young English talent, or not just English, but maybe British talent.
Because they're willing to give them a chance, that's why.
Because they're willing to give them a chance, and then if they end up being good, they know that they're quids in for any team that'll come and get them.
Yeah.
Does it happen often, though? It seems to me like it doesn't happen that often. Like, I get what you mean, like Bellingham and Sancho, like are recent sort of examples of it, but I remember growing up
in the past. It's more of a recent thing.
Yeah.
Well, I remember
when I was
like when a player went abroad, you like from England, you were like, "Whoa!"
Yeah, but Eric Dyer playing for Sporting. Oh, that was a big thing. Eric Dyer playing for Sporting Lisbon.
But no, like
I remember when I was growing up, thinking like I thought it was mental that Hargreaves played for Bayern Munich.
Yeah, but he started there though, didn't he?
I still thought it was mental that an English player was playing abroad. It just didn't seem to happen very often.
No.
So I remember there was one a couple of years ago. There was a young lad. I'm sure he was playing for Dundee, and like Bayern Munich picked him up and like, what? This is odd. I mean, it didn't work out.
It does seem to be Germany a lot of the time.
It is because the Germans are quite clever about it, aren't they? I suppose.
Abraham, and there was that. Who's that other defender they got from Chelsea as well? Mori. He was at AC Milan, isn't he?
Tamori.
Yeah. Why do we think Son is struggling?
I think it's partly the whole the way Conte plays football. It's not attack first, is it? He's the very defensively minded Italian coach, and I don't think it plays into Spurs' strengths. Maybe that's why they're struggling a little bit. Not just Son, but generally.
Again, I was looking at heat maps, calling the heat map king, and basically, if you take any game from last season, it's like all concentrated up front. Whereas if you look back at it now, like from the games when Conte has been in charge, he's more like defensive minded. So maybe that is what it is. But he is having chances. It's not like he's not having chances.
I believe he's still playing quite well, but like again, I haven't really been watching too much football. But from what I've read and heard from Tottenham fans online, he seems to be having a decent season in terms of what he's doing on the pitch. It's just not sort of translating into goals scored or anything like that.
No, he'll come good. He's too good not to.
He's a very, very good player. I mean, obviously joint top goal scorer in the league last year, but maybe that's slightly gone. Maybe because he's had such a good season, maybe he's putting too much pressure on himself. Maybe it's just a long season last year, and the same with what Liverpool have been suffering. Maybe just a couple of players are just a little bit fatigued.
Do you reckon that's one reason why Tottenham aren't playing that well? Because they rely too heavily on Son and Kane, and it's just Kane.
I don't know. They've got quality all over the pitch now, though, haven't they?
But it's always those two, really, which come with the goals, isn't it?
Oh yeah, it is. But then
this season, Kulusevski and I think they've kind of stepped up a little bit, but obviously the
Taking
drop off
the
between
burden,
the main two and them two is quite a way, isn't it?
Charlison looks deadly when he comes on as well. So at the table, if you actually look at the table, it does look a bit weird. Like it's quite a strong group that, like, deceivingly so. Like I would say, Sporting were probably one of the weaker teams in it, and they find themselves top with 6 points. Like Marseille bottom.
If you look at their table, you'd think people were saying, "Oh, that's an easy group for Spurs."
It's
but
really not.
It's not, because they're all like solid teams.
Frankfurt won the Europa League. Marseille are top of League 1. League 1. Want to say it like that?
And they're actually having their best ever start to a season, I believe, as well.
Yeah, they are. Yeah, so strong.
And they also sound like Mambo number 5 as well.
And I think as well, not to sort of to actually make out that I'm an expert in Portuguese football, but I believe they've sold all their midfielders this season as well. So they've had to like completely rebuild a new team practically. Yeah,
I'm pretty sure you betted on the Lisbon local league at one time, haven't you?
At the second division, yeah, constantly,
Yeah,
all day, every day.
Why not? If there's money.
Benfica B team, where it's at.
I read something before the game. I can't remember the stats exactly, but I don't think Sporting have ever beat an English team in Europe. Could be wrong, but I think that's what I read.
If that's an actual stat, that's incredible. Wow.
They've got good European. I agree too, Sporting.
They've always been like the second team in Portugal, though, haven't they?
Yeah, them and Porto.
If anything, they were the third team. It was Benfica.
Well, exactly.
Porto and Sporting.
Yeah.
And
even you had Boa Vista at one point, who were quite strong there.
Braga. The last 3 or 4 years, Braga have been the 4th team.
They've been like the Arsenal of the Portuguese league, just getting the Champions League.
Isn't Braga got that really weird stadium where?
I'd love to visit that stadium.
Is it like one of the stands where it's not a stand, it's just a cliff?
Oh, really?
They've got 2 stands either side, and then there's 2 cliffs either side as well. Like 2 goal ends are cliffs, and it's like I just want to go there.
So if you sky a shot, you ain't getting it back.
I remember seeing it in Euro 2004. I thought, wow, I love that.
Yeah, it was a brilliant stadium.
Yeah,
wasn't that when Rooney got sent off? No, he was injured before it, wasn't he?
He got injured.
Arsenal.
Yeah, but he's still lit up the tournament.
Speaking of Rooney, I heard today on the radio that, and it ties in with what we're going to speak about next, because we're going to have a little Haaland love in, but he's 1 goal behind Rooney now in the Champions League.
Really?
22.
Boy,
I read that it was one goal behind Suarez and 4 behind Rooney, but
it could be that. I don't know.
I can't remember exactly.
In such a short career, he's already up with them ones, isn't he? Yeah.
I saw about him last week. I can't remember this exactly, but it's something like there's only about 15 players in the history of Champions League who have scored more goals than him, and he's only played 20 games.
That's crazy, isn't it?
That's just mental how much he scores.
Bellingham obviously added another 50 million onto his price tag. Scored a nice headed goal, little flick off the top of his head. Did anyone see the game? His celebration was quite cool. Like he just stood in front of all the Dortmund fans and just stuck his arms out.
Was it last season? No, it was the season before when he scored a goal against City, a perfectly fine goal, and it got disallowed, and City went through. Was it?
I can't remember.
I think
no, they played a draw.
With Edison, wasn't it?
Yeah, Edison tried to control the ball, went and try and boot it. I think Bellingham just nicked it off his feet, and then Edison kicked Bellingham, but Bellingham would put the ball in the net, and then it was disallowed.
I do remember that. This game.
He's so good in the air with his feet. His feet seem to go higher than his head.
It's very Ibra-like.
Yeah, but I'll say Zlatan, not Zlatan.
Yeah, Zlatan loves him. Have you guys seen that video of him walking through Manchester of Haaland?
I saw it. Yeah.
And the Manchester United fans in the car follow him, say, "You're in the wrong part of Manchester, Haaland." He says, "They love me here." It's brilliant.
Yeah, he said,
I love this guy.
Come to United. They love me.
They love me here.
What would even possess someone to...
His career's not on the downturn enough to go to United, though, is it?
Nasty.
Yeah, he's just a goal machine, and I love this guy. He's my favourite kind of player. I like goal hangers. And Van Nistelrooy, Haaland.
He is definitely a goal hanger. He's so fast as well.
He's
saw last
fast
night.
and powerful. He's like a tank,
did-
you know.
He didn't get on the end of it, but there was a section of play where someone was crossing it from the left, and he just turned the defender and like powered his way into the box. He's just like so rapid.
He's smarter than all the other players on the pitch as well. He just knows where to be.
Yeah, he does, 100%.
He beats it so much faster than anyone.
He didn't actually have a shot on target City till the 75th minute.
Yeah, wasn't their first shot on target until John Stones?
I thought the thing I heard was Stones' goal that went in
Two shots on
was
target.
the first shot on
That
target.
keeper could have done
but-
better for that goal.
100%.
Oh, their goalkeeper definitely had a bet on, didn't he?
Yeah, he just
Yeah.
like
Or
he
was
did
it-
that
was it
thing
near
where he jumped-
post?
No, it was straight at him practically, and he jumped in the air and he flapped his hands.
Oh, was it?
and
Okay,
past
yeah.
him.
Just saying,
It wasn't the best goalkeeping.
Did you
Wasn't
get
the best
Vietnam
goalkeeping.
flashback there, Tom?
I did, yeah, I did. Fucking hell.
Oh,
Oh, there's the first word.
Oh, sorry. Oops.
You shouldn't bring up
It's
bad
alright.
memories, TV.
sorry.
Our host has already swore anyway, so it's a free reign tonight.
Did I?
Yeah, I'm sure you said you dropped an S-bomb before.
Did I? All right. It was a second.
Never mind. I'm just like, hey,
Jack Grealish was
Ashman's off the
disappointed
table.
again.
oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Just
Jack Grealish, that 100 million bargain.
I still, it's yeah. I like
I
Jack
feel like they
Grealish.
don't get the flack he deserves. To be fair,
He doesn't. He is a very good player though. Yeah, I'll give him that. But
I've got some stats for you. So his game last night: 0 successful dribbles, 0 accurate crosses, 0 tackles won, 0 aerial duels won.
How many fouls did he win?
So what did he actually do then? He just stood there going like, oh yeah, I'm Poundland Beckham. What did he do then if he didn't do anything?
He got
Great.
subbed after 59 minutes. So, yeah. I know City fans are kind of losing
running
patience
around with a
him.
beer bottle, just like, oh yeah, well, I've won a Premier League now, so I don't care.
Apart from Liverpool players, he was probably my favourite player when he played for Villa, and then I kind of tempered it a bit when he signed for City, but I still liked him. But it's just gone shocking.
Yeah, I really like Jack Grealish, especially in the Euro. Was it last Euros? I was saying how much
Yeah.
he should be starting. And he actually played well then, and it's just gone stagnant, hasn't it? He's not.
He's sold his soul, hasn't he? You know, he's left his club. He was a Villa lad, came up through Villa.
I
And he's
disagree with
sold
that a
his
little
soul,
bit.
hasn't he, really?
He's got to move on from Villa. Villa weren't good enough for him. He was a very, very good player, and he still is.
If you're a Villa lad, then the whole like it wasn't good enough, etc. Shouldn't matter if Villa was his club. He should have stayed.
Phillips has done the
You know,
same though.
That doesn't
It's
happen
Then again,
nowadays,
there's
though,
the-
does it?
Who
It
said
doesn't
it? I
happen
think it was.
in a lot of
was it
football,
Deeney?
but I mean,
Thing
maybe
is,
you
was
just
it
want to
Deeney
be a
that
realist
said
at heart.
But was it Deeney that said that if you work in one place like a Morrison's and Tesco offer you more money, you're going to go. So
Yeah.
if City offers him more money, he's going to go, no matter who.
It's a bit different,
I
though,
like
isn't
him.
it?
And plus
He's
he's
probably
at-
already on 100 grand.
He's at that age though.
Also-
He just wants to win trophies now, and he's guaranteed.
He might
trophies
wanna-
at City.
Like, if you compare it with Gerrard and Liverpool, for example, like, we were kind of competing for trophies, whereas
Yeah, I think
he
Gerrard
is so
truly
much better
believed-
than Villa. He's
Yeah,
so
Gerrard
much better
truly
than Villa's
believed that
level, he
Liverpool
had to
could win.
move. Good what? Say again, Tom?
Sorry, I was talking over. I'm very sorry. No, I was going to say that I can imagine Gerrard was genuinely. He genuinely believed Liverpool could win something, and obviously Grealish thinks Villa are not very good and can't win.
No, he definitely had to move.
And yet, based on the stats he just had, he wouldn't get into the Villa team right now because he's shocking.
No, but
so, you know.
well, he's celebrating Champions trophies, isn't he? Every Premier League Champions trophy. I think something's going on with your mic, Tom. I was like crickets
here,
in the
I'm here.
background. All right, there
Oh,
we
is
go.
it? No, it was muted. It shouldn't have. Yeah. Oh, there we go.
No, it just sounded like crickets. But yeah, speaking of someone who moved.
Wait.
Calvin
Sorry. You heard crickets because I probably told a joke. Wait.
Oh.
Oh,
Yeah,
Crickets.
Calvin Phillips played 13 minutes this season. Very lucky to get an England team, I would say, today.
Well, half that England team is
Again.
lucky to get the England team in terms of
Well, yeah.
performances. But I think someone
Southgate and his mates.
mentioned it today though. Who else have we got?
What do you mean?
well,
Like, if you don't play Phillips, who plays as Phillips?
I don't think we need to play two central defensive midfielders.
I completely agree. We don't need to, but we know Gareth Southgate will, because he's very defensive minded. When we had all these attacking options, and he still plays two defensive midfielders.
Well, something's going to have to change, I think, soon. You can't just keep picking people if they're not playing.
Yeah,
They're just not going to be fit for
Well,
the World Cup.
Slabhead, for example. But just going back quickly on Calvin Phillips, he's another one in that Grealish category for me who was a Leeds lad, was loved there, and again has sold his soul and now isn't really playing for the corporate shell that is Man City. So Calvin Phillips and Grealish fall into that same category for me of, okay, you're going to have a couple of Premier League medals, but you're not going to be playing much, and you've left the team that loved you.
Here's a question for you. Like, if you were playing, say if you're Calvin Phillips or Grealish, I think, me personally, I don't know about you guys, I'd rather be the player, part of the squad who wins the championship for the only time that year and go down as a legend, than move to someone like City or Barcelona and Real Madrid, become one of hundreds who've won a league.
Get yourself a statue, like...
Yeah, it's like as if Vardy, he could have gone to somewhere else, but he stayed at Leicester, and now he's a legend there because he won the title. So if I'm at...
just give him a 2-year contract as well at 30.
Have they really?
Yeah.
He's younger than me.
Look, I need to pay some legal fees.
Yeah. Like, I'll retire when my wife stopped doing stupid stuff.
Yeah. Rebecca Vardy not listening to us.
Oh, God, we're going to get sued by her.
Is that a loss to anyone?
No.
Well, yeah, but we'll probably win, so.
Well, the thing is, it's good. It'll be publicity, won't it? It'll be fine.
At the hearing goes, we discussed this on episode 5.
Yeah, listen to us.
Just playing the podcasts through the court as evidence.
Just the guitar solo.
Brings up
They become
Johnson's
fans,
quote. Should we move on to Chelsea and Salzburg? 1-1. Graham Potter's first game. Again, similar story with Chelsea. They're missing a striker, even though they had a striker on the pitch. But they dominated the game. 17 shots to 4, 72% possession. Just couldn't get the second goal to kill the game off. Sterling's done well. Another goal for him. Just missing a striker to put the ball in the back of the net, basically.
That's just very...
Well, they've spent about 300 million on defenders, and they're just going, Aubameyang and Havertz, that'll do. Like, they've gone overboard on one end and not at the other, and they're still leaking goals despite spending, as much money as they have. It's a work in progress at Chelsea, and obviously new managers now. He'll get a bit more time, you'd hope.
Will he?
I mean, who knows with American owners, they might end up just giving him 2 months and sacking him. But
I was listening to something on the radio today, and they were talking about the Brighton manager position, and apparently they want the Bodo Glimt manager.
Yeah.
And apparently he said to them, I need you to give me time because I've got something good going here at Bodo Glimt, but if I join you, you're not going to sack me after 6 months. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
He should be given time to build something. That's how it works.
Yeah, what he's built at Bodo is phenomenal. They were no one in the Norwegian league, and now they're dominating that league. They've had some great European.
Didn't they beat Roma? Did they beat Roma last year?
6-1.
6-1.
I think they've won the away leg as well, and they're doing well in the Europa League this year as well. They're playing tonight, and 0-0 at half time against Zurich. They're in Arsenal's group, so we'll probably get to see them soon, and probably a lot more people will recognise how good they are.
Their stadium's only capacity of 8,300 tells you how big.
That's crazy,
they
isn't
are.
it?
I think when they won, I can't think who they were playing now, but they won I think they beat Rangers or Celtic last year, dominated them, and it wasn't during their pre-season because the Norwegian League hadn't started yet, and they were still just fit and ready for the game.
An interesting decision to leave Koulibaly on the bench.
oh really?
Yeah,
I don't think he's worked, has he, fully yet? It's just...
Not yet, no, but there's definitely quality there, isn't there?
Well, there's quality there, but...
They started with a back three of Cucurella.
Fofana's on the bench as well.
They play better as a back three, don't they?
You know what's funny, though? I've seen some Chelsea fans moan about Tuchel. They just got fed up of him. I'm fed up with his quite defensive formations. I was like a three. What's he do? Three at the back, and then
That's what he did last night.
Yeah, then
Well,
that's Graham Potter. Graham Potter's done that for Brighton for the past three seasons.
Does Chelsea typically play three at the back, and they have like Chilwell and James quite in a more advanced position, so it's almost like five. Obviously, the wing backs a bit higher up, but they've been playing four at the back at the start of the season. It just hasn't worked because they've had the likes of Reece James happen to be more central. So
yeah, I think Sterling played kind of a left wing back as well last night,
and they are also missing, for me, arguably one of the best players in the world in Kante, out injured. And
has he been the same though, like the last 2 years?
It's because he's been injured so much, and look how badly they're down to him. But
in saying that, Chelsea have still got a depth in midfield. Don't get me wrong, anyone would miss Kante.
Oh, that midfield is crazy.
But they've got a lot of midfielders, Chelsea, and you can't say none of they're all like international caliber players. But it is quite funny that because I've just looked at the lineup that they had against Salzburg, and despite all the money they spent on centre backs, they're still playing 38-year-old Thiago Silva at the back.
Yeah, and he was the one who made the mistake for their goal as well. He missed like a tackle, and
he's not been classed since
he is a pure.
Thiago Silva's older than the club that they were playing. Surely Red Bull Salzburg are a new team.
That's a good point, actually.
4 decades old.
Speaking of age, the Borussia Dortmund manager is 1 year older than me, and that made me sick. I'm now gone from the age of being a player to a young, aspiring manager.
I saw the other day a player in I think it was the Irish League, the youngest ever player in the UK, and he was like 15 years and 40 days or something.
Yeah. It was 13. It was 13 and a bit, in the Northern Irish League, yeah. It was like 13 years. 200 days. It was like,
I think
what
he
he
only missed the world record by like 10 days or something, didn't he?
Isn't that held by somewhere in America? Because I'm pretty sure the amount of times I've heard a lot of players in America started. I think Freddie Adu started at 14.
It wasn't. It was like someone from Somalia or somewhere.
I think Freddie Adu played his first professional game for DC United at the age of 14.
Yeah, he's only just retired, isn't he?
Yeah.
Has he really?
Yeah.
It was.
He was that young when he started. He's only just retired, and it feels like he's about 50 years old, but he's not.
I saw that the Wright Phillips. So let me try and explain this. So you got Ian Wright, then you've got Sean Wright Phillips, and then I think
you've got Bradley Wright Phillips.
That's his brother, isn't it?
Yeah.
And I think, I can't remember if it was Bradley or Sean, but one of their kids is now broke through in a championship team.
He plays for Stoke. Yeah, he's on Stoke's book.
Is it Stoke, is it? Yeah.
Yeah. DeMarjo Wright Phillips. Yeah. It's Ian Wright's grandson.
Yeah, how old is he?
Crazy. Well, he's going to be no older than like 20, isn't he? But yeah, Ian Wright's grandson plays for Stoke. It's Sean Wright Phillips' son.
They surely, right? I don't know. They surely can't be
how old Sean Wright
all
Phillips?
that good.
Sean Wright Phillips, yeah.
He's got to be like 40 something, surely.
Well, he's retired, isn't he? So he's about 40, yeah. But it's the same with Stoke. They've got Delap as well, which is the son of Rory Delap. He's on loan from Man City, so they're just like collect. They had Tom Ince. He played there until last season. So I think Stoke are just your dad was good. Come on in.
Exactly. That must be what.
Didn't he nearly sign for Inter Milan? Tom Ince didn't he sign for Inter Milan? His dad just properly to push it.
I thought he was going to be so good, Tom Ince.
He'd choose like Blackpool or something. So.
Yeah, he went to Blackpool.
Yeah.
Sean Wright Phillips is 40.
I think his dad's his manager now. They're both at Reading.
40, and he was.
I don't know about that.
I'm pretty sure they're both at Reading.
Sean Wright Phillips is 40, but his son was born in 2002, 2001. So he must be 19 or so when his son was born, anyway.
Blimey. Going back to the Chelsea game, it was very weird to see Graham Potter in his
coming out with all these family issues. Let's go back to actual football.
I know, yeah. It was weird to see.
No, let's talk about family issues. God damn it.
No, because I could go on for days. But yeah, I don't know what everyone else's opinion on Graham Potter is, but like Chelsea as a club, as a Liverpool fan, I kind of just feel a bit like meh about them. and now they've got this manager that I used to like. So seeing him there, it's just like I should dislike you, but I can't.
I think as well, Chelsea historically have the new manager bounce, don't they?
Yeah,
Oh, they've had that many managers, yeah.
They always win something. No, the season they replace their manager, they always win something.
Remember Di Matteo winning the Champions League?
yeah,
And then 6 months later getting
Crazy.
sacked.
Yeah.
that was absolutely crazy.
Like, the
I think
amount of
they're
managers Chelsea have gone through is crazy if you think
I
about
think
it. Like,
they are going to struggle to get out of that group as well. Now they're sat on 1 point. They've got to go to Milan. They've got to go to Salzburg.
Which
I
one?
think-
and yet, you still think
AC Milan.
Red Bull. Oh, sorry, Salzburg. Yeah, sorry, I thought you meant which Red Bull team.
Yeah, they won the league, didn't they? AC.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they might struggle to get out of that group.
I don't think they will. They should still get out of that group.
They
The
should.
start appointment just reminds me of
well.
Moyes going to United, to be honest. I
Yeah,
just don't see it working.
I think
No,
it might,
I don't
I
think
think
it
it might
will
be a
work.
bit too soon.
I think he should have stayed where he was and carried on building what he was building.
I think big
he's
jobs
made
don't come
mistakes.
around that often. You know, if he'd said no this time, would another big job come up?
Well,
Again,
he's
he's
got
got
for him to go, yeah.
Still
Yeah,
young,
for him
Wanted
to
him last
go,
year, didn't they?
He's only young, so he's definitely got plenty of time.
I just don't think he's.
Sorry.
Go on.
No, I was just going to tell you, he was in talks with Spurs last year, wasn't he? But it didn't go through, and then they got Conte instead.
Oh, do you remember Nuno Santos at Spurs?
Yeah.
No, me neither. That was crazy. Anyone else got anything they want to say about Champions League before we move on?
I think I interrupted Brian. Was he about to say something?
Sorry, Grant.
No, it's right. It was just about, again, I just don't understand the appointment myself, really. Like, to
I
go
understand it from Chelsea's
Swansea,
point of view.
Brighton to then Chelsea. Like, I don't think it makes any sense at all, personally. Like, okay, he's got Premier League experience, but got experience in, no offense to Brighton because we're no better, but he's got experience finishing like mid-table, which is obviously what Chelsea want to do. Has he got any Champions League experience managing?
No, he's
No.
never had a
I-
European
I
game.
think
Has he got any experience managing in like a final that wasn't in? Where did he start off?
Sweden.
Sweden, that's it. Yeah, I think he won.
Östersunds. I believe he was in the 4th tier of Swedish football when he took over, and he got them all the way to the top tier.
I think him and Brighton.
And that's only about 10 years ago, which is a hell of an achievement in 10 years to go from 4th tier Sweden to now the Chelsea manager.
I think it's a big.
It's a
leap.
hell of a
Apparently.
10 years.
What's he been at? I think he had 4 seasons in with Brighton in the Premier League, and I think he's finished in the bottom 5, 3 of them. And last season he finished 9th.
I think the reason why he's going back to Fry's point with him, not making sense, I think it's the new owner, isn't it?
Yeah, it's.
He's
I just
obviously
think,
fallen
Apparently,
out.
the new owner
like,
wants
Potter
to change.
makes sense wanting to go, because Potter will
Yeah.
obviously go because he's got that opportunity. I just don't understand from Chelsea's point of view, like what. But as you say, they go through managers, and no one's business. So
I was
Apparently,
listening
their
to
owner.
pods.
Go on, George.
I might be about to say what you were going to say, but apparently, he's essentially he hasn't got much of a clue about football. He's a baseball guy, isn't he? And from what I've heard, he was asking Tuchel to do. It's kind of ironic, really, because you hear about a lot of managers who want to be in control of who they're signing. But apparently, he was asking Tuchel to about every single player under the sun. What about this guy? What about this guy? And he just got to the point where he's like, he wasn't answering phone calls from him. He was sending his assistants to the board meetings because he was just tired of having to deal with the transfers. He just wanted to coach the team. And I think is he called Bolly? I think he
Is
just
it
lost
Todd
his
Bowley?
Bowley. I was thinking Willy Bowley. But he
Jan
was,
Roly Poly, his name's Todd Bowley.
He's
I
definitely.
think
you
he
think
just
they've,
lost his patience with him, didn't he? And he just wanted someone new. And Brighton have this very good setup in terms of their management of the club, just the way it's all organised. And I think he just wanted that, and
Do you
he
think
wanted
he's got-
Tuchel gone.
I think he's got a bit of a yes man then.
Well, my favourite story with it is apparently with all the stuff I've heard is that he gave Tuchel a suggested lineup, and it was a 4-4-3.
I was going to say this after you'd finished.
I
I
looked at it
heard
and it was
this.
like, what the hell are you on about? Like, this isn't this.
Yeah.
You haven't got a clue.
Stay
Just leave
out.
me alone. I just want to manage my team. And he was like, he just wants someone who he can possibly manipulate. And obviously, with Potter coming up to this bigger stage, is he going to, like, I think, did you say a bit of a yes man? Like, maybe he does want someone who.
Well, how long do
I
they
think
realistically
we're
give him though
underselling
as well?
Potter. You know, he's done very well with Brighton. You know, they
Yeah, but-
look
yeah,
a
but
good,
Moyes did well with
entertaining
us.
team. He's not spent a lot of money, and now he's got a chance at a big club that obviously do spend money. I think he's done well. He's done well, Potter.
Yeah,
I think with Brighton, though, they will
Yeah.
inevitably.
It could well be a David Moyes, but it could work out. You never know. But Potter's deserved a shout.
He is a great manager, but every year Brighton will go on about a run of about 10 games where they just won't pick up a win. Like at the moment they look like they could be top half finishing side, but then they will go on a run of about 10 games where they'll pick up like 2 draws and that'll be it. And will he get away with that as a Chelsea manager?
No.
How long do they give him?
I
I suppose as Chelsea manager, he's not going to have Danny Welbeck up front. To be fair,
No. He's going to have Aubameyang who doesn't go for headers. But
He'll have for you.
Still,
He'll have for you.
I heard. I don't know. Like someone can correct me if I'm wrong, but in American sports, the managers tend to last quite long.
Well, I actually heard about this. Apparently, is it the Dodgers owner? I could be mistaken, but apparently my baseball knowledge is very limited. Apparently, the Dodgers are, if it is them, are quite a notoriously good team. But for the last, I think it's like 6 or 7 years, they've been very average, and they've had the same manager the whole time. So it shows that he's not quite so trigger happy when it comes to getting rid of managers. He is he does not trust.
What I heard was that he wants to have a manager that can stay a long time, that the fans can kind of fall in love with, whereas they don't normally get that opportunity.
Don't worry.
Did you see what he said about Kevin De Bruyne and Salah?
I was trying to bring that. Yeah, they came from Chelsea's academy.
Yeah, he said we've got one of the best academies in the world. Like our academy is Kevin De Bruyne and Salah. It's like, no, you bought them.
Don't worry, the Glazers did something that they said Cristiano Ronaldo came from United's academy.
Oh god, they're not on a good start then.
American owners.
Yeah. Anyway, so before we move on, I mean, we're going to talk about Graham Potter, but I feel like we're already on the topic of it. Does anyone else have anything to add on the whole Graham Potter subject?
Not necessarily Potter, but just the owner. I think Gary Neville said, anyway, somewhere that he's essentially playing Football Manager in real life.
Yeah, he is. He's got a lot of money now. He's never dealt with egos. How is he going to deal with when, for example, he puts someone on the bench, like he did with Koulibaly, and then he comes knocking on his door saying, "I've signed for loads of money. Why are you not playing me?" He's never had to deal with something like that before.
I meant the owner. Not sorry, I might have said manager by mistake, but
he said owner.
It's kind of both, though, if you think about it.
Yeah, none of them have.
They were saying about he's very very enthusiastic at the moment. In fairness, because apparently it's the at the end the ending of the baseball season. It's it's crunch time for the big clubs or teams or whatever they're called. But at the same time, he's spending all of his time in the UK trying to sort Chelsea out. And they were wondering, from what the people that I've been listening to about, did a bit of research. So they were saying, how is he going to keep up that level of enthusiasm, or is he going to get bored? Because obviously he's not a football man; he's a baseball man. So, a business man first, probably. But at the same time, is he going to maintain this whole enthusiasm for Chelsea, especially if they're not winning everything as soon as he wants them to be with all the money he's put in?
I think if he's making money, he's going to be happy, isn't he? At the end of the day,
the Liverpool owners are obviously in a very similar sense because obviously they're the Boston Red Sox owners. So it's a very similar thing. American owners who want to get into the football market or soccer market because they know there's money in it. That was my attempt at American. I'm very, very sorry, but their first and their bread and butter is obviously baseball. So yeah, I can see fully what you mean, but I'll have a little look at how the Dodgers are doing. But I know the Red Sox aren't doing very well this year.
Ironically,
just moving. Oh, go on.
I'm about to say, ironically, the American owners, I think, which are doing potentially the best, George would probably like this, and Tom. I think Ryan Reynolds and the guy from was it Sunny and what's it?
Rob McElhenney.
Yeah, that's
Always
it.
Sunny in Philadelphia.
Yeah, I think they're doing
They
quite
haven't,
well.
but they haven't been promoted or anything yet.
I know,
Well,
but
to be fair,
what they've done to the club.
It's a slightly different level. Don't get me wrong, I like Wrexham, but
But it's
buying a Premier League team compared to a
All they've
non-league
done
team is a little
is
bit
put
different.
TikTok on a shirt and do a documentary.
They actually bought the racecourse for the
But
first
to be
time.
fair,
Yeah, they've bought it back off
One of
the
the Canadian
They've put
university.
money in there.
They're buying football league players in non-league, so they're pushing for promotion. But it's a different world compared
It's a different
to like,
outlook as well.
Premier League.
There, like,
And they got a very good
everyone seems to be
manager.
really happy.
I like the contrast, by the way, between owners who just take money out and aren't involved and don't want to do anything, to then the owners who are giving team sheets and want to know everything that's going on. Like, what are owners meant to do? They just spend money and just,
in between them two, really.
yeah,
Because they shouldn't be dictating the team because they don't know about sport. But at the same time, obviously, we still haven't talked about the Glazers and everything, but the Liverpool owners don't put in a lot of money. So you kind of want just a happy medium. You want an owner, he'll give the manager money and yet just stay out of the equation.
Yeah.
Yeah. You want to know?
Never
gives
be
money
seen
and
again.
Shuts up. Okay, right, we see it.
Just move it back
Well, I
on to
mean,
Potter. Oh, go on,
To be
George.
fair, Man City's owners, for all the flack they get, they don't push the issue with who should be playing. They give stupid money,
Why
and
would you with
apart from
Pep?
seeing them on the sidelines celebrating, they don't. They're the extreme, obviously, in terms of like what people want as an owner. But you mainly hear about bad owners rather than good ones, because an owner
They'll
that
always
does
be more
says
vocal.
very little is the perfect owner, isn't he? Because they shouldn't be involved in the actual process of football. They are just the money men.
Mhm.
Just moving back onto Potter before we change the subject.
Harry.
As Fryer said before, like he's not won anything. I think he'll struggle to win the players over. Like, are they gonna? If he's come in and he's talking in the dressing room, do you think they're going to say amongst themselves like who is this guy? Like, what's he done?
Definitely.
Like, why should we listen to him?
Especially when you think like they've got World Cup winners in that team,
Big
like
personalities.
international captains and all that sort of stuff. Champions League winners last year,
Well, exactly. I heard again on the radio today. Someone was
Not
saying that when he went into Brighton, he had to try and basically win over like the senior players, like Welbeck, which sounds quite funny. Lallana, they all were like a bit dubious of him because he'd not really done anything, but obviously that's worked out well.
Just going back a second on Todd Bowley in terms of the LA Dodgers, they are actually the best team in baseball this year in terms of record. So maybe that's why you can think like I don't need to pay too much attention to them because they're winning. They're winning, like they've got the best winning record. So he's paying more attention to his new toy.
Yeah, they're going to give you the
But
World
yeah,
Series, which only in America.
Yeah, that World Series that only takes place within America. But yeah,
Wait, for our Canadian fans as well as Canada as well, there's Toronto Blue Jays and all
DJs.
that. So America and Canada.
Oh, sorry.
Pardon?
What? What do you call them?
They're called
Blue Jays,
Oh,
isn't
right,
it?
okay.
Blue Jays.
Has anyone else
Yeah,
got anything to
Blue
add
Jays.
on the Champions League topic before we go on to fantasy?
no, I think we've done all right. Unless there's anything else anyone else can think of.
Oh,
Well-
Bayern and Barca. Did anybody watch that?
I didn't watch it. I saw that Barca should have got something out of the game.
But yeah,
And that's
Barca
about
are
it.
actually quite good. They looked actually very good. I think Falvey mentioned, was it 2 episodes ago, he said how impressed Barca looking. He actually
I think,
looked
didn't
really
he?
good.
He picked them to win the Champions League, didn't he?
Yeah, and
Yeah, they were my prediction. Yeah,
they do look really good, as in they're creating chances. Dembele looks like he's got a new lease of life, and they're playing actually some decent football. But it's Bayern Munich at Bayern Munich, so they just got the win in the end.
Just gonna get the stats up now.
I think Lewandowski missed quite a few chances. He had some.
They had 18 shots, Barca to 13 of Bayern's. So quite a one-sided scoreline, but yeah, I'd be interested to see in the next game. Well, it won't be the next game, will it? But when they go to Barca to see what that's like.
Barca have got Inter next at Inter.
Yeah, I think they play Inter twice, don't they? Because we play Rangers twice.
That'd be a good game.
Just before we move on as well, a stat I'd like to mention. Messi scored last night and it was a new record for scoring against different teams. So he scored against 39 different teams now in the Champions League, which is quite crazy.
I think
Messi's
Messi's
Ronaldo on
overrated.
38.
Oh,
wow.
go on, Tom. Go on, Tom.
No, I'm joking.
How about your hype, man?
I think Ronaldo's on 38, so obviously Ronaldo can't reply to that this season because they don't count in the Europa League, unfortunately.
I also heard a stat today as well with Ronaldo that this will be the first season he wouldn't score in August or September. I mean, tonight he did score a penalty, but like if he hadn't, it'll be like a massive drought for him, relatively, you know?
Compared to what he's done in the past.
Exactly, yeah.
I think last proper drought he had was probably at United previously.
I mean, it tells you the story about the teams he's in, doesn't it?
Yeah. Well, not just that, he does drag a lot of the teams, doesn't he? But yeah, Messi scored a Champions League goal in 18 different seasons now, which is one more than Benzema, which I didn't think he was that old, Benzema, but he clearly is.
Was he 34?
I don't know, but Messi scored in every Champions League campaign since 2005, 2006.
Yeah.
Which is crazy. Crazy.
Benzema, he's 33, 34, isn't he? Because I think long-term, Haaland will be the replacement at Real Madrid for Benzema when he retires.
Oh, yeah.
That's why
that's going to be soon, I think.
Not Mbappe.
Hey? Well,
Number one
because of
player
the
on
deal that
Ultimate Team
Mbappe's
now,
done
apparently.
at PSG, I think it's more likely to be Haaland. I think Haaland, as great as he'll be in the Premier League, within 2 or 3 years, he will be at Real Madrid.
I bet they City have got that agreement with him and his agents that give it 3 years or whatever, he'll go.
Apparently, that was actually a thing. Yeah.
Yeah, a bit like probably what he had with Dortmund.
Yeah. I think that is actually a thing.
I can't see him leaving that soon. I mean, I would love it, but I can't see him leaving that soon.
He may do if opportunity arises. He might do.
What sort of fee would he command though?
Yeah, it could be a world record fee. You never know.
He's only 22. You're going to say he's going to leave City at 25 at the worst case scenario?
In his prime, still.
I can't see that. That's not his prime.
Because
his prime is like 27, 28, isn't it?
I know, but it's just before his prime.
It's Real Madrid. Like what? As much as Man City are now one of the big boys, they're still new to it. The clamour of Real Madrid is big, and I think that's where Haaland will be going in 2 or 3 years' time.
He
Fingers
seems
crossed.
Seems like one of the players that probably globetrot into. They'll probably go to loads of different teams. Doesn't seem to be. How many teams does he have now? Is it
3?
Salzburg,
Dortmund and City.
Yeah, that Mulder as well too.
Oh yeah, Mulder.
Yeah,
4.
it's Norwegian league though. Unless it's Bodo Glimt.
Hey, show some respect.
Yeah. To our Norwegian fans.
Should we move on to fantasy football? Move on to fantasy football then, yeah?
Go on.
I don't know who wants to start. I think, George, you got something on the issue?
Yeah,
Not
depends
the
which
issue,
George.
but the topic. Depends what, sorry?
It's George.
You.
Well, I was just going to talk about wildcard because I think a lot of people seem to be on wildcard at the moment, including the other George.
Oh yeah.
It would be a good time to sort of go through for the fantasy football fan out there. Ideal wildcard teams or potential choices.
Yeah, I've got a few. Well, actually, I've got one player which you're gonna laugh at as soon as I say you're gonna have if you wildcard, and that's gonna be Harry Kane.
He's not in form, though, is he?
But he start that. All I said was that he just tends to start slow. Okay, he's picking up now. That's why we got him in. So Kane against Leicester City. He's played 14 games against Leicester. Scored 17 goals with 3 assists. In the last 6 games, Harry Kane scored 6 goals with 2 assists. Leicester, second most goals conceded, and are without a clean sheet this season. So, if you're going to bring anyone in, you're going to have to do it around Harry Kane because.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%. Even though they have looked a bit shaky, or they haven't looked as strong as they did last season yet, because it is a bit of a running joke we have about Kane being informed. But you honestly could say that Spurs as a whole, they show moments of greatness, but then they don't seem to have that consistent form they had last season. So, but yeah, this is the ideal fixture. Spurs love Leicester, and like you said, they concede all the time. Basically, every single Leicester game starts with them 1-0 down.
I think it's a combination. Spurs again don't. They have like splits of play, creative play and things like that. But I think it's a combination of Spurs playing Leicester at the exact right moment. Especially with this wild card, I think it'd be a bit silly not to bring Harry Kane in, because that's what I've just done. I finally bit the bullet and I brought him in. Yeah.
Have Leicester got a manager yet either?
Not that I have read. I don't know if anyone else has read about an interim or anything, but I've not seen.
So managerless, no first choice goalkeeper, and they just sold the best defender.
Yep.
Who's this now? Sorry.
Leicester.
Leicester not got a manager.
Because have they replaced him? Or
I didn't even know Brendan Rodgers has been sacked. I'm pretty sure he's not been sacked, has he?
He hasn't been sacked.
I don't know.
Oh, sorry. Me and George are just predicting the future. Sorry.
When this goes out, he would have been sacked.
When did I miss this?
If he gets sacked tonight, we're going to look so good.
And they do have a goalkeeper. It's the Welsh number 1. I think you'll find.
Yeah.
Danny Ward.
So they don't have a goalkeeper.
Danny Ward.
I think he said a good one.
Wow.
He's
an alright goalkeeper, but yeah, he probably shouldn't be. Is the problem Danny Ward, or is the problem just the fact that their defence is made out of cheese? Because Leicester do leap goals for fun.
What type of cheese, though?
What type of cheese? You know that Swiss
If we're
one with all the
talking
holes
Parmesan,
in it?
that's quite strong as a solid.
Oh, they're the stinky cheese.
It's so holy. It's got the Pope embossed on it.
So holy, it could be Trent Alexander-Arnold trying to defend.
Or let's do footballers as cheese, yeah. So I think cheddar is James Milner. You just know what you're going to get with him.
Oh god!
You need an even more boring cheese.
Yeah,
more boring.
I literally just had to Google if Brendan Rodgers was still manager, because I was convinced he had.
I thought we were in a joke. Yeah, no, he hasn't been sacked. I thought you were in it with me.
It's because everyone thought he was going to be the first one sacked, and there's now been like 2 or 3 before him. Everyone's like,
I think
Brendan Rodgers is gone as well, isn't he?
So
honestly, surprised me. That shocked me. But still, yeah. Even that might even be a good bet. Even might strengthen the case to get Harry Kane even more if he's still there. To be honest.
Yeah, probably. Well, the top 5 expected points returns for this week that I've got here. This is as of 10 hours ago. Obviously, Haaland at the top, 6.2. Then you got Kane, 5.7. Then you've got Isaac, 5.4. Watkins, 5.3. Mitrovic on a solid 5. I don't really.
Did you say Watkins at 5.3?
Yes.
Sorry, I lost my profits flashbacks then. Oh, I know who you mean now.
I think he's flagged as injured as well, so be careful if you are looking at Watkins.
He's 75%, isn't he?
I mean, the other one's in prison, so yeah, this one's just a bit ill.
The got here as well some of the most transferred in and out players. So most transferred in player at the moment. I don't know if you want to have a guess.
Surely most of the outs are going to be Liverpool players because they're not playing.
No. Just who's the most transferred in player? Have a guess.
Probably either Son or KDB, with people selling Salah because he had a drop.
Yeah, because literally what I've done is taken out Salah and put in Kevin De Bruyne.
Give us a clue.
Okay. I'll give you a clue. He's a defender.
Trent out.
Reece James.
Trippier.
What?
The most transferred.
Ins. Oh, okay. Sorry, I thought we were doing outs.
Yeah,
considering I said in like 4 times, but
I've got Trippier in mind.
Too busy thinking of lost profits, George.
I think I had I've already got Trippier in mind as well, but then you've got Trippier, Pope, De Bruyne, Rashford, obviously because he's scored a goal, so everyone's got to get him in.
He scored
And
2
then,
goals.
Yeah, get it
He's
right.
injured, isn't
pal.
sorry, yeah.
United haven't got a game this weekend. Why are people
Or is
bringing
it-
in Rashford?
Is it just an England injury?
Part of the wild card, people are like planning ahead, like weeks ahead.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
and then Mitrovic. So
Haven't United got Man City just after the international break? Why are they bringing in Rashford?
It always
pretty
scores
good.
against City.
He scores a few against City.
he won't score against City, but it'll be against it'll be the games after that. Sorry, United fans. So have a guess. Who is
Rashford is
the
underrated.
top? he's not.
No, he's not. He's just crap.
Top transferred out
That's the
player.
Salah or Trent, I'm guessing.
Yeah, Salah. Trent.
Number 1 is Salah. Number 2 is Trent. Number 3 is I can never say his name.
Robertson.
Grope.
Gross.
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 Pascal Gross. But
B's a
Brighton.
double S.
And then Jesus, and then Diaz. So yeah, a lot of people.
Literally 4 of them top 5 you just said I have all taken out on my wild card.
Ah, there you go.
Salah, Trent, Pascal Gross, and Gabriel Jesus I've all
That's good
taken
for
out of
Liverpool
mine.
fans because sod's law now. We will start winning.
Well, I've gone against the trend here, and I've actually kept Salah. I just feel I got too much PTSD from the previous season where.
Imagine
I
if
haven't
Salah
had
just
him in.
goes, only joking, and then just starts playing now.
I was going to
How
say,
many more points would you get?
if I still had wildcard now, I would probably get Salah in. I've already used my wildcard, but I think even though Liverpool have been underperforming, he is still chipping away at goals. So I would potentially
Except for that
drop
9-0.
my defenders. Yeah, that's true.
Oh, don't. I was so.
I was so annoyed about that. Yeah, Liverpool
launched
scored
my phone.
9-0 and he did nothing.
The
I
worst
am
part
the
was
master.
I was working the whole day, and then I came to my phone
So
at the end of the
score.
day and was like, "Oh, 9-0." I captained Salah. I was like, "Yeah, I'm in the money," and then I just looked and nearly launched my phone.
I don't know the exact stat, but I did see an article that the way he's playing has changed. So he is not going to get as many goals. And apparently he's one of the highest in terms of chances created. So it's just that is what is going to happen now.
Yeah, he's staying out wide a lot more than cutting and doing what he used to do. But yeah, I think in terms of the actual Premier League, he's created more chances than anyone else. But that's not why you'd want Salah in your team. You'd want him
Chances that we
for his
don't score.
goals. Yeah, the
So-
chances that we
Shot
aren't
game,
scoring
2
exactly.
goals.
Yeah, but
So aside from Kane, who do you think you should get in, Valvey? If you had your wild card, who else? Well, apart from Salah, obviously that you just said, but
At the moment, I think I'm toying not wildcard, but I'm toying at I'm looking at my defenders at the moment. I've got Trent Alexander-Arnold as well, and I've been spending all week trying to figure out who to replace him with. I really like the idea of Chilwell, but obviously they're blanking this week, aren't they? But if I was on wildcard, I would potentially get Chilwell. I just think he's a great player, but I did do no, I forget. I actually did do a little draft wildcard of who I would have the other day. I would take a punt on Bowen at the moment.
Just to go back to Chilwell a sec.
well,
before you move
actually,
on.
just before you say that, sorry, one sec. I was waiting for someone to mention that name because I have something here for Bowen people who want to bring him in on a wild card, and it's that West Ham at 18th, and so far this season, Bowen's had no returns.
Nope.
And if you think about just getting players for returns, Everton have only conceded 6 goals in 6 games. So literally any Everton defender has returned more than Bowen, which is insane considering we haven't even won a game yet. I know it's a different position, but it's just I don't know what it is. Like you're waiting for him to just come into form, but
see, that's the thing. Yeah, I've brought Bowen in, but it's looking at who his fixtures are coming up, not how he's been so far. Because West Ham last season were the best of the rest, if you'd call them that. But yeah, this season they've started poorly, but you're expecting them to get better. And Bowen is their main man, isn't he?
Yeah, you should definitely look forward.
Yeah, you want to ride the wave, don't you? You don't want to sort of join it at the end when everyone's on him. You want to get the sort of the most effective ownership points out of him. And I think if I was on wildcard, I would take a punt on Bowen, maybe even Foden as well. as a cheap alternative to KBB if you're looking to spread the funds.
Go on, Phil. What are you saying?
I caught the tail end of something today. I don't know what it was exactly, but they were saying that Chilwell should be worried for his place. I don't know what it was exactly, but yeah.
Okay.
just be saying.
Probably because
his
Potter
place
knows Cucurella.
Yeah,
Potter knows Cucurella more than he knows Chilwell, but I think they try and accommodate. But obviously they got James on the other side. There's Chilwell and Cucurella can both play on the left, but also they've got a lot of centre backs, so it's hard to say. You want a Chelsea defender, but who's guaranteed to play? And for me at the moment, I've gone for Reece James because he is the right back, whereas there's a lot of question marks over everyone else.
Yeah, I think I've got Reece James. I think his outlet's usually quite good, isn't it? He gets a few goals and some assists.
Yeah, wing back rather than central. Being a little bit with Tuchel.
So I've got a little chart here, going off like expected points, things like that. So like for each position, who you should buy, sell, and perhaps like keep an eye on. So for goalkeeper, you see for the highest one at the minute is Pope, and like obviously it shows with people bringing him in, but I don't know what it is, right? I don't know if it's just because I like the sort of. I just think Dean Henderson's going to do really well this season. Their next lot of fixtures as well are Fulham, Leicester, Villa, Wolves, and Brighton. And he's 4.7. I just think he's going to do better than Pope personally. But expected points, Pope is the goalkeeper you should bring in.
You reckon he's England's number one?
Which one?
He's fine out with Pickford. I think Pickford still is the number one, but Pope's the closest to him.
But
I think Henderson's probably third.
I think
Henderson's a very good goalkeeper, but the problem is that Forest leak goals. If they're conceding 3 goals against Bournemouth, can you trust them?
Yeah, it's a bit of a combination of they are leaking goals, but like the number of shots that people have and things like that, and you get bonus points for saves, and I think they've had how many clean sheets have they had already? Let's have a look. Oh, okay, they've had 2 clean sheets, so that's 2 more than West Ham anyway. But yeah, anyway, so Pope is the goalkeeper. You should look at bringing in. Pickford obviously would be the one to sell because he's injured at the moment, and Mendy I've got here as one to watch. I don't know if anyone's got Mendy in their team.
No, I've got Ederson.
I actually wildcarded Mendy out of my team because I felt Chelsea were leaking goals. And I wildcarded in Pope.
and Reece James as well, didn't you?
I've brought in Reece James, but more for his attacking returns rather than clean sheets. Whereas Mendy was annoying me that he just wasn't keeping clean sheets and doing much.
He was making mistakes, though, wasn't he? He's been making quite a few mistakes.
Yeah, so again, it's just one to sort of watch rather than actually bring in. But if you look at their next lot of fixtures, though, they've got an all right run. They've got Palace, Wolves, Villa, Brentford, and they've got United, which should be our game. Then they've got Brighton, and then Arsenal, Newcastle. So the fixtures don't look too bad, but it's just one to watch anyway. For defenders, as I mentioned before, Trippier is the number one coming in. The number one defender going out is actually like a tie between Robertson and Trent. I was going to ask about this. Is Tsimikas going to start over Robertson?
Robertson's injured.
Robertson's currently injured. That's why Tsimikas played the other day. But it's hard to say because Robbo is. Yeah. If they both fit, Robbo would be the starter.
Right, that was.
But Tsimikas has done well when he's come in. To be fair.
Well, if he plays well, would Robertson just walk straight back in?
I think so.
I mean, I was talking to someone in work that, because how Trent's been, maybe try playing Robbo and Tsimikas. I know they're both left-footed, but for the game against Ajax, I was even thinking maybe could we try that and give Trent a rest? Obviously, then Robbo got injured, so not. But Tsimikas has done well when he's come in, but Robbo is still the number one for me.
Yeah, makes sense. And then we have for one to watch for defenders is Reece James for, as you said before, his attacking returns. Who would you bring in as a defender, Alvin?
That's what I really can't get my head around. I've been trying to figure out who to. I'm quite happy with my defence. My back line currently is Trippier, Cancelo, James, TAA, and Nico. And I'm quite happy with that. But I do want to replace Alexander-Arnold to, not necessarily because he has obviously his form's not been great. I don't necessarily want to sell him just for the bandwagon effect, but I do want to switch Jesus to Kane. So I do need to get rid of Trent for that to make the funds up, and it gives me 6.2 to play with. And there's no one.
What you need to consider with Trent is after the international break, Henderson will be back, and I think we'll see a different Trent then.
And
his whole game.
I have considered not selling him, but I can't figure out who.
No, you can only go with what's happened, can't you? But his whole game is based on going forward and Henderson covering him. He's not been there to do that.
I think to answer Friday, I think if I could, I personally can't. I've already got 3 City, but I think I would get a second City defender. Probably go with Diaz to go with Cancelo. I mean, Perisic is an option. I think he's great going forward, but you've always got the rotation risk. I don't really trust, other than Chilwell, but like you said, he's not nailed like James is, and I've already got James. There's no other Chelsea players I want. And after that, you feel like you're taking a punt on someone like a Brentford guy or something like that. It's just, nothing seems that attractive.
Yeah, I feel the points for FPL, like last season, there was a lot of points in defence, but I feel like this season there isn't really anyone like returning, apart from, I think, actually, didn't someone get 21 points last week?
In defence.
Yeah, this is going to bug me now. I'll have to have a look in a minute and try and bring it up. But yeah, I'm sure someone got like a ridiculous amount of points last week. I'll have a look up in a minute. So midfielders then, as we've already said, Salah's the main one that people are getting rid of. I'm going to keep him just because I've got PTSD. But the number one coming in as a replacement is Kevin De Bruyne. And the one to watch.
That's what I've done, yeah.
Yeah, you've done that. The one to watch is Zaha. I don't know if anyone's had a look at him.
I've also got Zaha, but obviously because they're not playing this weekend, he's on my bench. Because they're getting an upturn in fixtures soon. I was like, I like Zaha. He's basically a forward. He's like 7.2, so he's cheaper than all the 8 million options, and I think he's probably better than all the 8 million options.
4 goals in 5 games so far this season.
Yeah, he's the main man, isn't he?
Yep, and they've got Chelsea. Obviously the blank this week, and then Chelsea. But then after that, they've got Leeds, Leicester, Wolves, Everton, Southampton, West Ham, Forest, Fulham, Bournemouth. So you'd expect him to get quite a few returns there, even if it's just assists.
I wouldn't mind, like we said, about them blanking this week. So I'm not really looking at one of them to fill Trent's spot. But yeah, Palace are definitely someone to look at, but I just feel like it's obviously it's not this week. It's next week, isn't it?
Yeah.
Unless you're on wild card and you don't mind benching on them.
And then you can bring him in planning ahead. Have you got 2 free transfers this week?
Just the one, so I'm reluctant to take a hit. Obviously, I would do if I could figure out what to do because I want Kane, but if I might just leave it, as it is, and keep Jesus and Trent, but that also feels a bit wrong as well.
Well, I know I'm going to... Actually, I'll get to captain at the end before we get there. Forwards, so we've got one to bring in is Tony, obviously. In form, doing really well. One to sell at the moment with the least expected returns is Jesus.
He's actually due a potential price drop tonight as well.
Yeah, so you got to be careful if you've got him in your team, Johnson.
No, in my wild card, I've taken him out because their fixtures get tougher as well now.
Yeah, so what I'm saying is, like, a lot of people like to mess with their like wild, like mix it up and things. But if you bring him in and then he has the price drop and you take him out, you lose that money. So just be careful around stuff like that.
I had 3 Arsenal players, and I now have no Arsenal players after my wildcard. I had 3 Liverpool players, I now have no Liverpool players after my wildcard. I've jumped off both of them and looked elsewhere.
Yeah, which I think most people are doing at the minute. So the last one to watch is Isaac. So again, I don't really know too much about him, to be honest. I don't know if anyone else has got any info on him.
Well, obviously they paid 60 million for him, so he's their main guy. And as good as Callum Wilson is, he's always injury prone. So much so he's injured at the moment. So I think Isaac is
games
the
he's
focal
played.
point of him, isn't he?
He's done exceptionally well in Spain, I believe, and he is very well regarded in Sweden as being their next big thing. As in, like, I don't know if he's necessarily the next Zlatan as such, but he's their sort of next big striker that they're really hopeful for. I think he's got a lot of potential.
He kind of reminds me of like a hybrid of Henrik Larsson and Zlatan, because he's not as big as Zlatan, but he offers. He's kind of like an in-betweener, isn't he?
Yeah.
I'm just looking at his stats in Spain. He scored 6 goals in 32 last season for Sociedad. So just beware of that when choosing.
Well, in his 60 minutes against Liverpool, he scored. But in his
he should have
90
scored
minutes,
in the game after that as well.
He technically scored twice in the Liverpool game, but he was offside by a knee. So yeah.
Also, Isaac's upcoming fixtures are Bournemouth, Fulham, Brentford, United, Newcastle, Spurs. So again,
Newcastle.
Bournemouth, Fulham, Brentford, United, and Everton. Sorry, and then Spurs. So you expect him to score in quite a few of them, or at least get the opportunity. So he's worth a punt. He is 7.2 though, so he's not the cheapest forward.
That's quite cheap though, considering the price they paid for him.
Yeah, 7. Sorry, not 7.2. He's only 6% selected as well, so it's a good differential.
Yeah, he was who I put in for Gabriel Jesus. Was Isaac.
So, last question then, which again sounds like a stupid question because the answer should just be Haaland. But who's everyone captain in this week?
It is Haaland for me.
All right, Johnson's Haaland. What about you, Fabi?
I'm on Haaland. I think let's play the game when we can't pick Haaland. Who would you be if you couldn't pick Haaland?
Well, I've not picked Haaland this week. I've gone full on the Harry Kane bus, so I've actually captained him and vice.
That makes sense. Actually.
What about you, CB? Who have you captained this week?
It's at the minute Haaland, but I'm looking to.
CB was definitely listening.
Yeah.
I like how your voice just pains every time you have to admit that a City player is good. It's Haaland at the minute, but if there's any way on earth I could just pick someone.
Pick a United player like Sancho.
It goes back.
Have the United player if you want. You got no points. So yeah, if it wasn't Haaland, Pondering.
Hello?
My vice captain's De Bruyne, so that's probably who my captain would be. But I don't have Kane or any Spurs players at the moment on my wild card. So,
right, okay.
So Tom, who would you go?
I've had Haaland from the very start. I triple captained Haaland on the first day because I thought he'd score a hat trick. He scored 2, but you know what? It's fine. I've had him captain all the way, and I'm top of the bloody league. So
that's true. If you couldn't,
there we go.
Who would you pick?
Jesus, if he's fit, I think he's like a big player for Arsenal now. I think he's found his feet. I'd like to see him do well. So I think Jesus. But then again, a few seasons ago when Clivert was at Newcastle, I had him in the whole season. So I was thinking he'd come good. He never did. So this whole thing of me being top of the league, I am so flabbergasted.
Well, I was just going to say, just for an update from the last time we mentioned it. You're top of the league with 374. I'm second with 373. Johnson is third with 372, and Bracegirdle is joint third with 372. So there's literally 2 points between us at the minute.
Maybe we can post that table on the Twitter.
And then Falvey's not far behind us now, but yeah, he's on 363.
Yeah, I'm pretty worried about Falvey. He's like slowly creeping up.
Falvey will just win it anyway. He'll just win it. But enjoy the moment, guys, you know?
Yeah, but the problem is, if you say Falvey's name 3 times, he appears. So that's why I didn't want to say it.
He compares with donuts.
Yeah, so I think that's everything on FPL, unless there's something you think we've missed, Falvey.
No, I think you did a very good job. But I still don't know who I'm going to transfer in or out this week, so that didn't really help me. But
well, with your 1 free transfer, I would probably wait personally. I don't think you're going to lose or gain too many points by taking a hit. So, especially if it's to get rid of Trent. So I'd probably just wait personally.
I'm not too worried about
how many players have you got playing? Because I was forced into a wild card because of this weekend's postponements. So I have to do a wild card.
I planned ahead for the Queen's death, you see, so I'm fine.
It was you. It was an inside job. The police did it.
Are you going to London?
I am not, no.
No, that's a shame.
I do have 11 to answer your question, but that does involve me having to start Nico Williams and De Silva.
So, to be fair, Nico Williams is probably going to do all right against Fulham.
He's got a good fixture. And Brentford are at home, so you never know. So I'm tempted to just stick, but it feels wrong.
True.
I'm trying to work out like this next game week or next 2 game weeks. So United, Leeds, Liverpool, and Chelsea aren't playing, is it?
Yeah.
This guy's tough. He doesn't even know who's not playing.
And
I don't know.
Palace Brighton's been postponed as well. Those are the 3 games.
Okay.
Yeah.
I feel like Tom's he's like evolved since Falvey's comment in the first week.
He's conning you all. He's just pretending that he doesn't know what he's doing. Well, he's like, I'm still top. He's acting possum. He's playing us for a fool. It's not true.
I wish that was true.
I love that, acting possum.
How is your team that you did with your girls, George?
I must admit, I've not really been actively doing much with it recently. They dropped down to 282. They're on 282 points. I've not really been doing it. Tom's beating that. He's beating me.
How many points have they got? Like, how far is he ahead?
Tom's almost 100 points ahead, almost.
Right. Enough time to catch it. What? Anyway, on that note...
I mean, he's literally 100 points ahead of him. He's absolutely burning them kids.
I'm so proud of him.
God damn it.
F you, kids.
I knew I was going to get it in somehow.
I'm surprised at you, Tom.
I'm. It's just this isn't me. I'm just like this is my competitive spirit. You know. It's yeah. I've never won before.
Yeah, you're a bit ways off that yet. I fully plan to win this time and not finish just behind Falvey. So just to let you know, I'm going to be trying very hard.
How far behind were you last year? How far behind were you?
I was only, I think it was 49 points.
It's not a lot
considering
the whole season.
Considering the season before it was like 200 points. Then yeah, but I just like this theory that Tom has been playing possum for 3 years just for this moment to.
What was the tactic last year? Pick all players which wear a blue shirt.
Same colour shirt.
And double barrel.
No. I've done the same colour shirt and then double barrel names. Every player had a double barrel name last year. So
that would take longer than actually picking a piece.
Yeah.
It did. It took a lot of effort. Like every time it did. Yeah.
Bloody hell.
But this year, I don't know how it's happened. It's just like I just put Haaland as captain because I know he's going to be great, and I put Nico Williams because he's Welsh, Brennan Johnson because he's Welsh, and I can't remember who else I've got on my team now. Who have I got on my team?
As well.
Danny Warren because he's Welsh, yeah, and Gross because he's got like an SN thingy in his name. Gross, that's him, yeah. So him because he's got that little B thing. So yeah, that's how I've picked my team. That's how That's how all good managers pick their team.
Who's got the funniest name?
Gross.
No, team name, he means.
The one thing I'll say about your team, Tom, is you're not going to have a full 11, so you'll need to make a sub this week. Because you've got a couple of players that aren't playing. Hey, I don't mind helping the underdog who's currently the overdog.
Yeah.
I'm giving him the what's up dog.
See,
Cheers, mate.
That's backhanded, that is.
So who should I put my name in my team then? I've got Anderson. Okay, Anderson, Gross. Okay. I'll get rid of... Pardon?
Palmer.
Pogba.
He's a player to watch.
No, Pogba's... well, one of them's in prison and the other one's not in the league, so... But yeah, you've got 2 Palace, you've got a Brighton, and you've got a Liverpool, so you need to take out one of them to have a full 11.
Okay,
just remember, Tom,
Johnson
fully wants to finish above you, so all advice comes with that a little asterisk.
Well, I mean, or you can play with only 10 players, but I'd think you'd want 11 players playing. So I took out Pascal Gross. You've got a defender, a midfielder, or an attacker that you could swap for something else. So you have your own options, but I'd suggest having a full 11 in a game week.
I need to have a look at that. I need to have a good look at that because, I will have a look and I'll see if I can carry on my record of being top because,
I mean, I don't mean to poo-poo you, but you have used your triple captain already.
Because I had faith in Haaland on the first day. I thought he'd score a hat-trick.
Doesn't mean that when you use yours, it's going to be good.
No, true. It's just the standard rules. You always wait for a double game week in it, but you'll probably have got more points than me anyway. To be honest,
when I used it, I had triple captain last year on a double game week, and Trent was dropped and didn't play one of them and only played the second. So, double game week triple captain doesn't always work.
I think the past 2 years I didn't use wildcard or triple captain once. I didn't use it.
And that's why you finished last.
That's because you gave up by the end of August, yeah.
I think I joined late and then I gave up first.
What's your team name, ZB?
Was it Don't Look?
What does that mean?
Is it Don't Look? Is it Bin?
Yeah, BINNT.
Yeah, Bin.
What does that mean?
So it's a throwback to the good old Warzone clan, which I've now disowned.
Oh, right. Okay.
Well, it's because you don't show up anymore.
Well, technically I've sort of disowned them, but I will be back. Shout out to Dave.
What are you going to do when it's Xbox only?
By the way, Dave sucks.
Wow.
Dave sucks, I like that.
Is that your team name, Tom?
No, Dave just sucks.
Oh, right.
So Tom is Tomball TX.
Yeah, Tomball, Texas, because there's a town in Texas called Tomball. Obviously.
Oh, I love on your Facebook page, Tom. Every now and then you you share something from the town of Tomball. And it's a missing cat, and you shared it.
Yeah, you got to find the cat in Tomball, Texas, obviously.
I better share it to all my friends.
Garage sale Saturday. Shared.
Have you seen this cat? No, where is it? Oh, I got.
It's often people shoplifting from their local Target. It's good stuff.
Tom, you realise you're going to have to go there one day and just have a picture outside it.
I have to go there, yeah.
I have to go there. Time.
I will.
I run this place. I'm the captain now.
Well, my dad, who is also called Tom Ball, obviously, he claims that he's a relative who established Tom Ball. So so yeah, I have to go. There's a pilgrimage, isn't it? So
you come from a long line of balls.
I do. There's a lot of balls in my family.
Don't we all?
And on that note,
well, anyway, yeah. Has anyone got anything they want to say before we end it?
No.
That's silence as a no.
I think ending on a cock joke's a good one, so I'm happy.
Right, okay. If you enjoyed the podcast, feel free to follow us on YouTube and Twitch, Spotify, and Anchor at HalfTimeTeamTalk, and on Twitter halftime TA2. And yeah, that's about it. Thank you.
Can I say one thing? Can I say one thing? Whoever's listening, just search Tomos Cast. That's my podcast. Bye.